What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Batwoman Season 1, Episode 13, Drink Me. So I have a little confession to make. It's been a while since I've done a review. Main reason is it was my birthday in February, and so I got a lot of gift cards. So I got a little distracted. Just a little distracted by certain things, that just kind of took up a lot of time, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I mean, I'm still not even really done with a lot of these things that took up my time, and that doesn't even account for what I got on my Steam library. So, yeah, I spent about a month or so just nothing but gaming, ignoring all these shows, which, to be perfectly honest, I mean, this show in particular was one I was not looking forward to going back to anyway. So, yeah, I sort of took a break from doing reviews, took a while off, but now I'm out of reviews to upload. And I still want to try to stick to my schedule. I know there have been a few days here or there where I've missed uploading a video, and a lot of that just comes down to some days I do have to go in and change all the information and then make it public because they're already uploaded onto the YouTube. Some days I just don't have time for that because I get really busy. So I'm still trying though to just stick to that schedule. If I want to upload one every day, if I can, one every day of the week, not the weekends. So we're back to it, and God, what a show to start off on. I mean, just as bad as I remember. Exactly why I didn't. One of the reasons why I didn't want to come back. So let's just hop right into it. I'll try to remember all the stuff that was frustrating in this episode. First of all, the beginning already starts off on a frustrating note because no explanation as to what happened after the end of last episode. Beth dies, Alice lives, and then what happened? No clue. Show doesn't bother to explain it. She was chained to a bed in Mary's clinic as far as I can remember, unless I don't remember something about what happened at the end. What I do remember is Kate is there with her for when she dies, and then Beth dies, so she wakes up, she's like, "You're gonna let me die." And then she swings at her, and I couldn't tell if she knocked her out or if she even hit her or Kate dodged out of the way or what. But then she's just out and about. She's free. Don't know how. Don't know how she got out of there. Don't know how Kate got out of there. I have no clue what just happened there. And what's really funny to me is as much security system, as much surveillance systems as there are in Gotham, the Crows still don't know that Alice is alive. On top of that, this random Beth shows up with different color hair, and nobody's like, "Hey, why is her hair not white anymore? What? Why did she change that? That's odd. It's really weird that she changed her hair color for no reason." Nope, it's Alice though. I mean, for sure, because it's the same person, and sure, we live in a world where all these mythical and supernatural and alien things live. So surely there can't be a possibility of a doppelganger or something like that. That's out of the question. No, no, no. That's Beth on the table, and sure, her hair color might be different, but that's Beth. So case closed. So, but just all really, really dumb in that sense because, again, there's no explanation as to what happened. And to be perfectly honest, there's a lot of stuff in this episode that doesn't get explained as well. I can't even tell you exactly what this girl was about. I know she was a vampire, the villain in this episode. I know she was a vampire. I know she was going around biting people for some reason. You could have just knocked him out with a needle, but no, she's got to bite them because we got to make it sensual. That one scene where Kate was like, "Yeah, she just bit my lip." I'm just like, the fuck? So she's biting them. I guess her fake fangs or whatever are injected or infused with with the ketamine thing that paralyzes them. I don't know why she went with that. Maybe she's just crazy. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm draining their blood, so I'm going to pretend to be a vampire." Ooh. What did I just say? Did I just say Pamfire? What on earth? I apparently have not had enough caffeine today. So yeah, I guess she just had this idea of I want to be a vampire, and so she decided that's what her whole thing was going to be. Instead of just going around, injecting people with paralytics, she's like, "I'm going to fight them because, ooh, that sounds more fun to me. So that was already weird. Again, Kate's reaction whenever she was talking to Luke about it, I'm like, okay, you're trying to be funny, but this is just really, really weird and awkward. Like, you do realize she's killed people. She's draining their blood, and we're sitting here joking about, oh, she bit my lip, and it was a turn on for me. Like, that's... I'm sorry, what humor is that? That's not even dark humor. That's just stupid humor. That's the type of humor that I don't even know who's gonna laugh at that. Like, that's not funny. She's killing people, for crying out loud. Why are you making this joke right now? So that was already odd. But I don't really understand, like, how did she choose her victims? They're like, oh, well, the club is the big place to go. Well, she doesn't even go to the club. She just randomly targets Alice for some reason, and then goes after her, and then Alice tells her about, what's her face, Mary, and about her blood that's inside of her, and I guess somehow knows where to track her down. Luckily, manages to get her in an alleyway where there's a random girl that's puking from drinking too much. Like, what are the chances of that? Like, oh yes, we just happened to have this drunk girl. I thought it was going to be where she was pretending to be drunk, so that way Mary would come over and help her, and then she would bite her. So then whenever it turned out the girl was just this random drunk girl, and then all of a sudden, all the Nocturna comes out of nowhere, she's like, I got you. I'm like, wait, what? She really just lucked into the fact that Mary had to go help somebody down this dark alleyway? I'm sorry, what? How weird is that? And how coincidental is that? So, I don't know. And then, I guess we'll try to talk about Alice as well, because her thing is... I don't even know. So first of all, again, somehow the crows don't know she's alive, even though they have cameras everywhere. I mean, hell, Kate catches her on one of her cameras. I don't know why Kate's not saying anything. I don't know why she's not turning Alice in. I don't know why she's not telling them where her hideout is, because apparently she just knows where Alice's hideout is. What? It's one thing if the villain knows where the hero's hideout is, but they're like, okay, but there's probably like security stuff, so we don't want to go there. Which most of the time, even then, nobody knows where their secret hideout is, because it's a secret hideout, right? You don't just know where the hideout is, but Kate is just like, oh, she's going after Alice, I'm going to go to her hideout now. How do you know? How do you know where her hideout is? And then Alice doesn't even move, she's just still there. Kate walks in again. This is the weirdest hero-villain relationship I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense to me. First of all, that Kate would know about it, and second of all, that she wouldn't tell anybody about it. She just walks in, she's like, yeah, I know where you are. Don't worry, I won't tell the police. You can just stay here, keep conducting your whole operation here. So that's already really weird. But yeah, Alice, gets targeted by Nocturna for whatever reason. So I don't know what her MO was. She hangs her up, starts to drain her blood, but then stops whenever Alice tells her about that, special blood that Mary has because of the whatever it is. Which, apparently Mary looked into it and said her blood isn't special anyway, that there's nothing different about it. So, is that true or is it not? I mean, are we saying it is? Because I thought it was true, but then now we're saying it's not. Like, we're implying that there's nothing different about Mary. So, don't know what's going on there. But yes, Kate shows up. She's hanging there. Like, she's tied up. She's not going anywhere. She's drained of a bit of blood, so she's weak. And Kate just lets her down and lets her go and walks away. Why? Well, because we need Alice to be able to come in and save Kate's life and then save Mary's life. Why? What? Oh, when that happened, I think that's about the time that I lost my mind. Because, first of all, from Kate's point of view, she doesn't know that Alice is going to come in and save her. She has no reason to think Alice is going to come in and save her, because Alice has no reason to come and save her. But she still does anyway, because we can't have Batwoman getting killed. Even though we could just have Batwoman be better than the villains for once, instead of constantly getting her ass handed to her every single episode. But no. We need Beth to come in and say, well, not Beth. She's not Beth, guys. She's not Beth. And then she's also like, but why doesn't Kate like me anymore? Why does she accept me? I'm not Beth, though. I'm not her sister. But she doesn't love me anymore. She doesn't even think I'm her sister. Because I'm not her sister. Why? Why doesn't she think I'm her sister? Like, that whole stupid storyline needs to just end already because I'm so pissed by it. But she had no reason to go and save Kate. But she goes and does it anyway. But again, from Kate's point of view, you don't know that. So why is she not like, hey, you know what? I'm going to turn you into the crows. It's very easy to explain. You call Sophie, since that tends to be her line into the crows, and you say, hey, look, multiple dimensions existed. After Oliver Queen died, he brought them all together, and this other Beth existed. That's who died. The real Alice is here. She's hanging up. Go and get her. You can just tell by talking to her it's the real Alice. You're just going to know. Trust me. But she doesn't do that. And so then again, Alice, for some reason, decides, I'm going to go be a good guy now. Saves Beth, saves Mary for whatever odd reason, even though she has no reason to want to save the sister that she feels replaced her in Kate's life. No reason to want to save her life, but she goes and does it anyway. And her reasoning behind it, I wanted you to see how stupid you were for not saving me. Congratulations, writers. You have achieved the peak of stupidity. Because your villain telling your hero, I want you to see why saving me was a stupid decision, so I'm going to save your stepsister's life, is gotta be the dumbest line of logic I have seen in any TV show ever. And that's saying a lot, because I've seen a lot of dumb lines of logic. But that makes no sense. At all. The better thing would be for her to be like, don't worry, I'm going to save her. I got this. Not save her life. And then go, see, that's why you shouldn't have tried to kill me. Why you shouldn't have just let me die. Dumb decision. Now, I'm just going to kill everybody you love and care about. And then I'm going to kill you last. That's a villain thing. But for her to save Mary's life is more of a hero thing, which shows, like, I guess their idea is, oh, you were dumb for not saving me. This is what I could do for you. I can help you. But now because you didn't save me, I'm not going to do stuff like this from now on. Then why did you do it right now? This was the perfect time for you to let Mary die. Honestly, you didn't even have to go save Kate's life. You could have just let them both die and been like, that's what she gets for not trying to, save me. Whoops. Guess you should have chosen better. So it makes no sense. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's so contrived. And it's the only, they want to create this false sense of danger for the hero and for Mary, just for them to flip it around and be like, oh no, just kidding. Beth's gonna come in. She's gonna save the day. Alice, guys, it's Alice. Not Beth, it's Alice. She's crazy. So, all that's really dumb. Mary figures out that Kate is Batwoman at the end of this because of course she is. I mean, just so many stupid things. I mean, again, first of all, you've outed Batwoman as a lesbian, which is something that you have already clearly shown that you are time and time again. So that's one connection that you've already created artificially for no reason other than representation. So that's stupid. But you're going to Mary, who is a doctor, to find out what you were drugged with the night before. Even though you're not doing anything that would imply that you would possibly be drugged, I feel like you being drugged is something that would have raised a few more red flags if it had happened to Kate Kane, very high-powered CEO. But no talk about this, no mention of you going out and partying, no anything. So you getting drugged with ketamine, no less, it's just, not something that's going to be difficult to figure out what happened. Especially when clearly, eventually, this girl's going to get caught and is going to get revealed, hey, she was using ketamine to drug her victims. super easy to make that connection. It's funny because honestly, I'm thinking throughout, Mary should have already made the connection, but it's not until the very end when it's like, oh, she was using ketamine. Wait a minute. She was using ketamine? That's what was in Kate's blood the other night. And then Batwoman she was drugged the same night Kate was. And it was also ketamine. And Luke Fox works with Kate on a hidden. Oh my! Like they were showing. Honestly, you didn't need to show any of those cutscenes at the end to show her train of thought, because the train of thought should have already been there. But it took like a good extra 30 seconds that you didn't need to explain, oh guys, Kate or Mary, she's putting all these pieces together in her mind. Follow along. We're going to show you what she's remembering, just in case you, the viewer, forgot, because we know you're all stupid. So here, let us just pull you along. Come on, we got you. We're going to help you out. We're going to hold your hand the whole way through. I hate it whenever directors, writers, whoever it is that's responsible for making decisions like this, that think their audience is so dumb that we can't make the connection of like, oh, she's finally connecting the dots. You just have to have her have a realization of like ketamine. That's all you need. You don't need to show all of these stupid scenes again to show, oh, Mary has finally figured it out, even though she probably should have figured it out when Sophie told her that Batwoman was drugged. That should have already made that connection. Anyways, so that was dumb. Sophie also being dumb in this, she goes, that whole scene at the club was just really stupid. You know, this woman is there that I guess is supposed to be, ooh, she's the villain, guys, she's the villain. And then Scooby-Doo and his gang pull off the mask. It's like, she wasn't the villain at all. It was this other random person that we didn't know. So that scene was just really dumb, though, where it's like she's talking to Sophie, and it's like, it seems like her life might be in danger. And we're like, oh no. And then Kate goes in, sees she's talking to this woman, then comes back out to talk to Luke again for whatever reason, and then goes back in, and then cuts her finger. And the woman, I guess she was supposed to have, like, what's it called? Hemophilia, I think is what it... No, not philia, phobia. Hemophobia. It's like that disease where you see blood and you get lightheaded. It was funny. I thought the way that she was playing it, which probably more of a director issue, it just seemed like she was turned on. And I was like, okay, so she's the villain, right? Because she seems like she's turned on by this blood. Like, she's like, whew, yeah, I don't really like the sight of blood. I was just like, okay, are we supposed to be inferring that she's scared of blood or that she really likes blood? Because I can't tell. And they're like, oh, it's clearly not her. I'm like, okay, so I read that scene wrong then. You didn't show me the correct view of what I was supposed to be thinking in that scene. Got it. So that was really dumb. And then Sophie gets found out she's working with Batwoman, and then at the end she's like, I can't work with you anymore, before she kisses her. And they start making out, and I'm just like, oh, well, I guess Sophie now knows that Kate is Batwoman, because you can't tell me that two people that have been in a relationship for a while and then break up and then get back together are not going to recognize how the other one kisses. Right? Like, we're not going to go to the next episode with Sophie being like, ooh, Batwoman is so just, oh my gosh. Oh, hey, Kate. Oh my gosh, she's just so amazing. I wonder who she is. Like, she's such a good kisser. She honestly, I think she might kiss just as well as Kate does. I think she might. I'm just waiting for it because I know the show is dumb enough to do it to me, so I'm just waiting for that moment. But anyways, I've taken up way too much time talking about this first episode. It was really dumb. Alice is still out there. We'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, the other weird thing, just real quick, the mannequin thing. This is new, right? Like, this is the first time that we've seen her talking to a mannequin as if they're a real person. Like, she's pretending the mannequin is Mouse. This has not been done before this season, right? Like, most of the time, crazy exhibits itself in one way. Like, there's certain things that are sort of tics in a character or tics in a person that make them crazy. Like, whether it's one thing they do, like, I think about, Monk from the show, Adrian Monk. Like, his OCD thing was like tapping one thing, and he had to have everything, but it was always OCD. Like, that was his one thing that made him crazy. For Alice, it seems like she's hallucinating, and she's also got split personality, and she's also got mood swings, and she's also got like so many different crazy things about her. I'm just like, yeah, the writers are just whatever they've seen crazy before, whatever stereotypical crazy things they've seen before, just toss it on the screen and we'll see what works. So, but anyways, on to the next episode. See you there. Now episode 14, Grinning Ear to Ear. Let me put a smile on that face. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of throughout the entire thing. But first of all, just want to point out, holy crap is the writing team bad. Because last episode, and this is something I had to go back and check, because I'm like, there's no way they made such an obvious mistake. But they did. So last episode, when Alice is looking through this Dr. Campbell's file that, is actually Mouse's dad, she's looking through and is like, oh, look at this. 6 years ago, he took a sabbatical. And then he came back, divorced his wife, and suddenly started looking into plastic surgery and facial reconstruction. So 6 years ago, we're implying Dr. Campbell was replaced by Mouse's dad. Cartwright, I think his name is. Then this episode comes along. And we have this girl, which super coincidental that at the moment where Alice needs somebody to get to Dr. Campbell, like she needs to use somebody to get to him, of course one of his patients just happens to fall right into her lap. And I don't even know how she managed to track down where she was, after Batwoman and Sophie tied her up. She somehow manages to do that. But on top of that, we have the embarrassing mistake of Sophie going to Dr. Campbell. Actually, yes, 8 years ago, a girl was brought to me. Let's see. So, 8 years ago, a girl was brought to you. No. 6 years ago, you took over his life, which means you wouldn't remember what happened. And maybe there's an implication that, okay, he looked into this guy's life and he made sure to check up. There's no way you would be able to tell me, oh yeah, no, he also looked into all of the patients and he remembers every patient that the doctor worked on before he took over his life. You can't tell me that. And especially whenever he sees her at the end, he's like, oh, Duella. Like, he knows her. He recognizes her. This is clearly just a case of one team wrote the last episode and they wrote that he replaced him 6 years ago. And then another team took over this episode and they wrote that 8 years ago he Cartwright, pretending to be Dr. Campbell, took on this patient. So they made a huge mistake. Yeah. So ridiculous, stupid, and hilariously bad writing. But, I mean, I don't know what else to expect from this show, so it kind of just fit right in. But, I don't know, just such an obvious and glaring mistake is not something I expect. And most of the mistakes that they make are more so like, you just have to put 1 second of thought into it and then it doesn't make sense. Which I guess in this case, if you just think about it separately, like honestly, if there was a week in between these two episodes, there probably would be a lot of their viewers, because the viewers that watch this show are toddlers. They probably would have forgotten. So that way, when they got to this episode and he said 8 years, which is more than 6, they would have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But as somebody who not only has a brain, but also is watching these episodes back to back, I'm not going to forget such a glaring error. So, but anyways, let's talk about Batwoman and Sophie. Because first of all, Sophie doesn't recognize the fact that it's Kate that she's making out with, which I call bullshit on, because if you truly love somebody and if you've been dating somebody and you know them, and I'm sorry, you would know if you're kissing them. I'm not saying that everybody kisses so differently that it's so obvious, but if you kiss somebody more than once, which they obviously did, I'm sure you would get a feel of what it's like, and you would get a feel of what their lips feel like. You would get a feel of how they kiss. Sophie goes, I don't know who she could possibly be. Even though she's suspected Kate, she's had every clue pointing at Kate, but because she saw her in the same room as Kate one time, it can't be Kate, guys. It just can't be. Even though that one happenstance occurrence completely made no sense, it can't be Kate. It just doesn't make any sense. So that's dumb. But then there's this whole thing where Luke's like, oh, you can't date her. It could put her in danger. Okay, don't get me wrong, I get why that's normally a problem for heroes wanting to date some citizen. You know, Spider-Man wanting to date Mary Jane, Batwoman wanting to date whoever, Vicky Vale, the random women in Gotham that he happens upon, Superman, Lois Lane. There's a real legit concern of, if I tell them my secret identity, or if anybody finds out that they're seeing me, that we're a couple, they could be in danger. Sophie? She's already in danger. She's a freaking crow. This would be like if... I'm trying to think of a good example. It'd be like if Superman was dating, like, a cop that works for the police. Policewoman. Like, she works for the police. If he started dating her publicly, that would... I mean, it wouldn't really matter that much, because she's already putting her life on the line every single day. Sophie is doing the same thing, working for the Crows. So this whole line, this story, doesn't make any sense, because that's not going to add any extra danger to her. People are already gunning for her, so them finding out that she's seeing Batwoman, it's not like it's going to add much more danger to her life. And she could take care of herself. She's trained to take on bad guys. So it actually makes more sense for Batwoman to date a woman like her than it would be for her to, go after, what was her face, Regan. It just doesn't make any sense. But they do this whole thing where it's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should. Sophie, of course, coming out to her mom in this episode, and again, makes it all about, this is who I am as a person. No, it's not. It's who you like. I'm not going to get on my rant about that. I've talked about it so many times in these stupid CW shows. Well, actually, this one's... Well, it's at the CW. I'm just watching it on HBO Max. I don't know why they put it on there. But it's just such a stupid storyline, and of course she's dealing with, oh, she's just not... I'm going to disappoint her. Whining, crying, complaining. I don't care. I've seen this storyline done so much, and honestly, this might be the worst one. None of them have been done well in the CW. This may be the worst one, though, in my opinion. So she decides, I gotta figure some things out. I can't keep lying to my mom. I can't keep putting on a mask, blah, blah, blah. Also, the whole scene where they go and they stop this Duella girl didn't make any sense to me. It would make more sense if Batwoman goes to take down Duella while Sophie goes and saves the girl. But instead, they switch that, so now Sophie is taking down Duella. She's fighting, while Batwoman just stands there, throws... No, she doesn't throw, because her throwing, I guess, is just so bad that Luke's like, alright, I'm just going to install a little batarang shooter in your gauntlet thing. Don't know why. So she presses the button, it shoots, and stops it. And then instead of, like, going and doing something about it, she just stands there, while the gears slowly crush the batarang, and then it crushes it, and it goes, and then she has to use her bat grappling hook to shoot herself across and save the girl. And all I'm thinking is, you could have pressed the button that stopped the machine, right? Like that. You could have done that, right? Sophie could have done that, but we need to make sure that Batwoman uses her gadgets to save the day. So we're going to have her unsuccessfully try to stop the gears, and then we're going to have her swing across and narrowly save her from the vat, when really, I mean, it didn't really make sense to me why she suddenly just fell, because she was like going so slow, and then after the batarang like snapped and the gears kept going, suddenly she's like free falling. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. You would still just keep going down nice and slow. Whatever. Oh, I don't know. That was just really, really dumb. Let's see. Alice in this episode, she's no longer talking to the mannequin, so I guess that whole plot point is now done from the last episode. Again, so coincidental that we just happen to be dealing with a girl that was worked on by Dr. Campbell, but not by Cartwright. We do see he puts Mouse with, like, the fear toxin. The little references to Batman happen here and there. Nobody even mentioned... I figured there would be some sort of, like, Joker mention with the fact that she, like, cut a grin into her face, but it wasn't there. Let's see. Yeah, Alice manages to capture Cartwright by the end of this episode. The whole final scene was kind of dumb to me, because if you really think about it, she has Duella cut her face off, which I don't really know why. I don't know why she didn't just take Duella with her and then send her in first, so that way I don't know why she needed Duella to begin with, to be perfectly honest. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take her face, put it on, and then walk into the room and then reveal that it's actually me, Alice, this whole time. Okay. Like, did you do that because you didn't want to be seen on camera as Alice, like you're still alive, because you had to walk to the warehouse where you found Duella, and then you had to walk with him after that fact as well. So why did you put on her face to begin with? Didn't really make any sense for that. But if you really think about it, by the time that Batwoman and Sophie called in the Crows, or the GCPD, to come get Duella, from that point to when the GCPD arrived, which I'm sure took probably 20-ish minutes, if that, she managed to get in there, have Duella cut her face off, which don't know how that's even possible, get her face on, and then get over to the doctor's office and put it on. That thing is still bloody as hell, but couldn't tell by looking at it. And what's funny is, like, when she gets there, her face looks completely normal, and then when she takes it off, it's got like blood spots all over it, and there's like, I don't even think there was a scar on the face that she took off. So I'm like, yeah, no, nope. You threw in this plot point and you didn't even make it make sense. So nope, nope. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Oh yeah, Duella's scene at the beginning too. There was that one really poor error, which, I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, I deal with it honestly here too, because the camera is right there, but I'm recording on my tablet, and my face is right there, so sometimes my eyes do cut over there sometimes whenever I'm like, and now that I pointed that out, you're going to notice it every time I do it. But the girl playing Duella, like, she's looking into the camera because she's looking at the mirror at herself, but then as the camera starts to pan, you can see, like, her eyes start darting a little bit because she's no longer sure of where she needs to look anymore. I'm just like, I get it, because it's kind of, you gotta control the eyes, and it can be difficult at times to do that. But it was kind of funny how she's like looking dead set here, and then as the camera moves, she's like, all right, well, now I don't know where to look, so my eyes are kind of looking a little bit everywhere. I think that's about it, though. I don't really know or even care where this is going, but just kind of, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here, honestly. Something to get upset about, call out for how stupid it is. Yeah. On to the final of these 3 episodes. See you there. And now episode 15, Off with Their Head. So I gotta get through this quick because I don't have a whole lot of time. First of all, I missed something in the last episode that I meant to talk about and blast because of how stupid it is. We really went into detail of how much Mary can, like, look at people's faces and tell. You know, like the one girl, she looked at her old high school picture. She's like, oh yeah, I know who this is, but now she's got like a different like cheek and chin and all this stuff. We went into all that detail. And yet it took how long for Mary to figure out that Kate was Batwoman, even though they have the exact same chin? Hello? Are you not realizing the plot holes you're writing into this? We did confirm, though, that Cartwright has taken this guy's place for 6 years, the Campbell doctor guy. So no explanation, and obviously he's dead now, so I don't know if we'll ever get an explanation as to how he knew about Duella, even though he wasn't Dr. Campbell whenever Duella was worked upon. I'm just going to chalk it up to a writing mistake. But yeah, so this one felt kind of pointless overall, because the 2 parts of it, well, I guess kind of 3 parts. One part is you've got Alice going to get Mouse, save him from the fear toxin, and then she ends up getting put in the chair by Mouse because apparently she's his worst fear somehow, and the fear toxin made him turn on her because of that. I don't understand, but okay, whatever. So now she's experiencing, reliving the whole story about Cartwright's mother and all the awful things she did to her. And I gotta say, don't really care, because it almost kind of felt like the show was trying to make me feel bad for Alice, and I really don't at all. So yeah, I don't know, felt kind of wasted. The other story that felt really wasted was Mary and Luke going to try to figure out who shot Beth, because we already know who shot Beth, and they've already got Cartwright locked up. Now, granted, they do give that information about the fact that Cartwright shot Beth to um, to Kate whenever she's got him, but even so, that didn't really phase her. What ended up causing her to snap was finding out what happened to her mom, which this is the part of it that really confuses me, because we heard that apparently the mom like got decapitated in the crash when the car fell off the bridge. So she was dead. And yet the implication is that maybe she wasn't, but I'm fairly certain I remember Alice talking about seeing her mom get decapitated when the car hit the water. So I don't really understand what the outrage is at the end of this episode. Like, Cartwright gave his mom, Beth and Kate's mom's earrings, and I guess was trying to use her face to give his mom a new one because she really wanted to look younger. I don't really get why this is a big thing. Like, that's honestly what I assumed, is that he had probably, because he made these faces, right? Which means he was killing people and taking their faces. It would not surprise me that he took their mom's face, since he found Beth in the river. He probably found the mom's body in her head, too. So this seems like it's like this big epic reveal, like, holy crap, guys, can you believe this? I'm like, I mean, I kind of figured that happened. I mean, yeah, finding out that apparently he was using it for his mom, maybe that's kind of a revelation. But the show is treating it like we had no clue that he could have possibly had the mom's head. And that's something I suspected from basically the third episode, where we found out about who took Beth as a kid. Like, I just assumed, okay, well, if he's making these faces, then probably has the mom's face, right? More than likely. I don't know if they're implying that his mom is still alive. Well, no, wait, never mind. I'm sorry. I don't know. He did imply that he did give his mom the mother's face, but what's weird about that is, I mean, she never got the chance to wear the mom's face because she got burned alive by Alice. So I don't really understand a lot of this, and the fact that that's what makes Kate snap enough to kill her first person is finding out, oh, I put your mom's head in a fridge and I was gonna turn it into my mother's face. That's what made you snap? Like, that just, it seems a little weak to me that that's what made her kill somebody. Like, if that's all it takes, could you imagine? I mean, if Bruce Wayne, if that's all it took, I mean, if he, I've not heard of one story where Batman meets his parents' killers and he's like, I'm gonna kill you for that. So if he meeting the person who actually shot his mom and dad wasn't enough to make him change his whole thing of I'm not gonna kill, then the fact that Kate decided I'm gonna break my rule about not killing because he took my mom's head, which was already knocked off of her body from the crash, but he took it and put it in a fridge and wanted to make a face out of it, which he's done with several other people. That's, you don't deserve to live anymore. What? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that'll clarify a bit more some of the stuff I'm confused about, but that's what I feel like they're showing me, and I just don't really get it. I don't really understand why this is I'm gonna kill him worthy. So anyways, but I will say it's very interesting, the fact, I don't know how many, hang on one second. Okay, so there's 20 episodes in this season, so only 5 left. I don't really know where it's going to go for the final 5 episodes because they officially have Alice. Jacob knows that she's alive now, and he has her in cuffs, and Kate is there with her. I don't really know what to expect for the final parts of the season. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're all Alice related because I still see all of the Alice, like, puns, like, through the looking glass is the name of the next episode. So they're still going to be focused on her, but I don't really know what. I thought it was going to end up being where Cartwright was more of a villain as the season went on, but now that he's out of the picture, is Mouse going to be like the main villain? I hope not, because he doesn't really seem like a tactical mastermind like Alice was. So is she going to keep pulling the strings? But it seems like she's a little bit more buddy-buddy with them now, especially after her dad saved her and then her sister finally killed the man that tortured her all this time. I don't know, it just, it feels like they don't have much story left, although they didn't have much story to begin with. So if they were able to stretch out 15 episodes so far out of no story, I'm sure they could do it for 5 more episodes. So yeah, I don't, just whatever. This show's terrible. I knew it was terrible getting into it, but I don't know. I thought there would be at least something to cling on to. Like, again, watching Supergirl, the acting in the show is pretty good. Arrow, the action was pretty good. This just doesn't have anything. No laughs. Well, I guess some of the writing and some of the action can be so bad it's laughable. But for the most part, I'm not finding myself laughing that hard. Aside for that one scene that I remember that was really poorly choreographed. But anyways, with all that being said, that's it. I'm back in the reviews. Regretting my life decisions already, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll live somehow. So anyways, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 3 episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Batwoman reviews. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.